Hi, you guys. Today is the 10th of August. My gosh, it's going so quickly. Of 2021. I just had to stop and think, like, oh my god, my birthday's coming up. Um, I'll be 53 in September, early September, so. Anyway. I am going to be doing a reading on what is going to become of the support for the GOP and the GOP itself, because as they, I think, stir up more trouble and allow their followers to pay the price without, they're not going to help them. But they're letting them be the fall guys, and they're letting them pay the price. I mean, pay the price for COVID. These guys are inoculated. And I just cannot believe, well, I can believe, that they are so indebted to Trump and that whole stupid mendacity, that they don't even care about their own supporters. So what I want to see is, are they going to, my goodness, between COVID, giving them the worst advice and getting them all revved up to not take precaution, to not, care enough about themselves or other people, and as more of them are imprisoned for acting out when they're worked up by officials that are in that party and that are behind the scenes, like Trump stirring the pot, he needs to be brought in and stopped. He should not be out free. He's continuing to stir up problems for our government. Why? Any other person doing this would be behind bars. If you or I were doing this, we'd be behind bars. I'm really sick and tired. Now, I know that there's a lot to it with the law. It's not so easy. You just, but there's reason enough. Let me tell you, they'd find it enough for one of us. So they've got to also face the kind of class rules for people that have worked in government, although I wouldn't, or that have worked over government. Just, they got to stop it, because they're going to end up with a lot of us really angry, and a lot of us already are. I think these out of touch people, and I'm not talking about just the GOP. There's a lot of Democrats and others that have just become part of this untouchable class and a privilege that needs to be revoked. Doesn't matter who you are, if you are doing things that you shouldn't be, and you're not caring about other people and how you affect them, whether you're DeSantis or what's his bucket in New York. These are two examples of people that shouldn't be in government because they don't care. They're not listening. And yes, I know I need to read on Como and his brother, but I don't really want to right now. The energy is too draining. So I'm going to look at this. This is far more compelling. Como will be worked out. I've already done a reading on him. he's in trouble. And he's just making it worse for himself. So, I will do an update on him, but I just don't feel like doing it today. Alright. That having said, having been said, I'm going to look at what is going to be likely with how the GOP treats its own followers, and will they see a change from that support as people find that the GOP stirs them up but doesn't help them out? Is just basically using them to take the punishment. Let's see if any of them are going to wise up. Some of them will, I think. But I think, like I said, they'll become very anti-government. And then there's a different kind of mutation that could happen there for some. But let's just see what the cards want to share with me. I'm asking the Most High. I'm asking our Creator, the source of love and truth, and to help us and our spiritual mentors to help me to relay an accurate reading to the best of my ability, and with the help of my spiritual mentors and yours. And I reach out and ask for that too, because I want to try to do my best for people. I really do. All right, so I'm going to do this in the Celtic Cross, and I'm going to be looking at the central heart of the issue of the supporters and whether or not their loyalty may change, being given that they're being taken advantage of. So we'll be looking at them from kind of but we're looking at them from a more universal perspective. On the matter. Okay, so we have the Empress here. This is, I think I was definitely meant to read on this today, you guys. So this is their support, literally, It is the nurturing that the GOP depend upon, and have depended upon for years, to vote against their own interests. That they are that source of fecundity, which means abundance. So they're generating of support. They are their kernel, their seed. And that is really important. All right? So that's why, no matter who you are, even if you're a jerk, you better care about the people that support you, or look after them at the very least, no matter who you are. Now, crossing. What is challenging is going to be a sense of celebration, which means to me, you see how all the hands are connected here? Some of you may be aware about a dream I had about the interconnectivity, but the feeling I'm getting from this is the unity that they want, and the success that they want, and the celebration that they want as together, but they're not all together. We are not all one in that group. And frankly, I think probably just to do with the difference between somebody that's worked in high-profile government as compared to a civilian. the difference in the treatment that they are going to get, and is real. So it's falling in the position of challenge. So they're being, here, you guys create and be the source that we depend upon, but you're also going to take all the punishment. And we're not going to help you. And I think then there's going to be a challenging, definitely, where the feeling of unity, it's going to occur, and it's already occurring for some. It just has to catch up with those that are yet on the outside, that haven't gone to prison and aren't feeling a bit disillusioned and confused. Anyhow, let's continue. So we're going to now look at the basis card of the reading, and that is the Three of Wands. And this is, this is about networking again, and that feeling of getting more support and going further and deeper and really entrenching really strong support. Reaching out to, these people and getting more opportunities to expand. So they're trying to expand their base, but they're not taking care of their base. And they don't see themselves as part of that base. They see them still as other than themselves. Here we have the Hierophant. They look to them as their leaders. They look to them as their teachers. They look to them to guide them. And I think they're going to be looking to some new people to take that position, as they feel they're not getting any help from those that encourage them to take part in this. Whether it's an activity or the planning of, and that's what I'm really talking about, the people that would be more engaged, whether they are a loner or the little groups of people that support them. Now, have been some people that have been helped. The couple in St. Louis that were pointing guns at everybody, I think they got a pardon by one of the idiots there in charge. But here's the strife and here's the fighting, and this is the physical and the all the confrontational behavior. Now this shows up in the recent past. There's a great deal of pride still held and support that is still in place. But this, I strongly sense, is going to change. And I think that strong sense is validated by the challenging card here, connecting the activity, the acting out, with being able to count on a substantial source of people. This goes to, I think, they'll give some people some help with that Six of Pentacles, but it's very selective. And it's meant more just so that they won't say, hey, you're not helping any of us. But it's still, my feeling is that with this six, it's still not really, I think it's more tokenism than real effort to secure these people any breaks or help. They themselves, I don't believe, have the people or the interest to devote the money that it would take to do that. But they will pick and choose. They will cherry pick who they're going to help. There's still going to be a sense here that's underneath, that's rising, of we're not all being included. Yeah, conflict and strife. This is the attitude that the people would have that have paid the price, and that will pay the price. Conflict with the Page of Swords. And it's just the beginning of the mental understanding of, hey, wait a minute. You know, it's just the initial hook, I feel like, of, hold on a minute, of some discernment. Because it is a page. It's not yet had much time of investment of that critical thinking aspect. So they'll still, into the near future, continue to be able to enjoy a good deal of support from these people by cherry picking those that they help out that are getting in trouble. But what is rumbling underneath this are those that they don't reward, who are of greater number than the small number that they cherry pick and help. Yeah, this ruins their lives. There is ruin in the environment. The Ten of Swords. This is like the car won't start. It's kaput. This also makes me feel that this is the brainwashing effect, and this is a meltdown effect for some that begin to realize their lives are over with, and there's no camaraderie by the GOP coming to unlock those doors and let them out. So this to me feels like complete dissonance, just complete change in the environment, to put it mildly. The Ten of Swords in their environment is, it's ruinous. They're ruining their lives. So in the near future, they still give and get some, but they're giving more, I'm feeling, way more, and paying way more of a price than the token help that their supporters receive from the GOP and those that stir them up to act out. Hopes and fears, we have the Ace of Swords. Now, of course, they're hoping to completely to win, to just clear away. I'm sure they would like to, in many cases, literally do away with anybody that doesn't have the same point of view. But this also means clarity. And what they fear, I think, is the truth and is clarity of being clear that they've been had. So on one hand, there's wanting to be able to totally wipe out, I think, any dissension from their hive mind. At the same time, they're very much afraid of someone being able to shatter their illusion and show them that they've been had. And the only way that's going to happen is by some of their own and their own experience of misery and not being assisted and seeing other people helped. And that's going to make for some people feeling really sore. Here we go with the Queen of Swords. This to me is divorce. That's the word that came to mind. At the end of the day, there's going to be some that will separate from the GOP. And I'm feeling with that Queen of Swords, it's bitterness. Real bitterness, real soreness, like an infected sore. And I think we should pull some cards for that. Yeah. With that, we have the Five of Pentacles. This is a feeling of being completely outside of help, bitter, not doing mentally well, not doing physically well, not doing financially well. Many of these people will be ruined, have their lives completely ruined. I mean, like, lose their house, lose family, you know, they're in prison for a long time. So I do see that eventually it's not going to be in the near future, but I feel like, again, more tools next year and the end of this year, maybe it beginning to really promote, whatever what I'm saying, build up, begin to become more unpleasant, make people unhappy, is going to build. Oh boy. Okay, the Devil. And there they are suffering. They're in prison. They're not happy. Bitter. I feel like there will be physical as well issues because of people that didn't take advice. That was the good advice. They took the stupid advice. Physically, they could be suffering from long-term effects of having had COVID and survived. I feel like also they're going to exist, but they're going to feel like I haven't two pennies to rub together. My health is in the toilet, and my mind is not good. I feel controlled and oppressed. But they are like addicted to, it's become an addiction to these people. And they're going to physically and mentally, I mean, we've already seen it like with what they've been doing, trying to kill people and killing people. People, of course, like Heather Heyer, one of the first people they killed, one of his supporters. We've got Barry Morphew having his, more than likely, deceased wife making her vote for Trump. These people, just what on earth? No. Just no. So it's not looking good for them. They're going to realize who's held them actually captive. And some may not entirely, but they're going to be bitter about it. Some may not see. Some may continue to misattribute it and blame the Democrats, blame everyone else but who they should. And there will be people that realize exactly and they're going to be fit to be tied. Real anger here. Real anger. That strength is about enduring. But ill-dignified, and it is next to the devil, it's definitely about being overbearing, willing to use physical violence and to oppress other people. And I think there will be, especially people that don't agree with them, that are on a higher wavelength. They're going to resort to the physical tactics. But with that 10 of Pentacles and that 10 of Swords, this doesn't bode well for them. This is like I said, I firmly believe we have yet to see, but we will. Our official forces cracking down on domestic terrorists, whether they're loners or connected to GOP, and if they are, they're going to come under the spotlight. You know, is this somebody that is active in harmful ways, other than just the verbiage, the diarrhea that these people spew? Are these people active in militia or even just themselves a gun owner? Are they? I can see them being profiled, and unfortunately, I think that it will come down to that. Definitely, to keep an eye on people. They already do that anyway, but I feel like this is the cracking down on these people who get cracked down on and endure the punishment of prison, etc., are going to become very bitter. They're not going to have a leg to stand on. And I just see the diminishment of them physically and mentally. And a lot of them will end up locked up, either because they've gone around the bend. I mean, they already have, but I mean because they're in a way that they're a harm to themselves or someone else. Or they are acting out, they are carrying out acts of domestic, terrorism, whether they're in a group or not. And I just see them being cracked down upon here. And as this is happening and more of them are realizing, hey, I'm staying in prison, I'm not being given the pardon, the gift that the few are given, there's going to be a resentment that builds up. And it has an end cycle. And I don't think this means that they are going to have these people, making these people happy. Let me put it this way. There's action. And they still hope but I sense that they still hope to somehow overrun and create control. They're still in the coup mind. And this isn't just the supporters, it's the GOP as well. We're being shown that. There's some, I think, that will hold that if they take action to bust them out. And that kind of thing. These people have all kinds of thoughts. But I also feel like there is a hardening where punishment is concerned, and again, action being taken. So as they might step up their game, becoming more angry, it's only going to mean they're going to get cracked down on harder and harder. And this is because we need to have more light. We need to clear away this darkness. So we'll go through a hard time with these people, but we need to keep hope and realize that at the end of the day, and it'll take a little bit of time, again, these people will run out of support, steam, their luck. The devil has to be paid his dues, and these guys have basically signed on with him. So they too will pay their punishment. It will catch up to them, these GOP people. And I believe here with the Queen of Wands, I believe this is action being taken by people in government, against those that are still attempting this coup shit. There is restraining their ability that Queen of Pentacles. This is their earthly life, their earthly well-being, their is going to be restrained. More and more of them behind bars, spending their life behind bars. Their freedom, it's barred up, it's restricted. That's what we're being shown. That instability, they're going to be trying to bring it more under control. And you see where the music is kind of going through, this to me deals with the brainwashing. There will be changes in the trust that they once people put in these clowns. There'll be a shift. Especially the longer they sit in prison without any help. It will take time, with patience, with that Seven of Pentacles, for them, for this brainwashing, and for their minds to, some of them may never, but for some of them, I think that their minds will change. And it's going to deprogramming, Yes, resurrection, judgment. They will realize. Some of them will wake up, and some of them may completely go the other way. Really, truly wake up. I think that will be exceedingly rare, but there is some sort of realization, a greater realization with the Judgment card and the consequences, when they have to finally pay the consequences, and it's not just fresh and they're still not in shock, but it's been some years perhaps that have gone by, couple years, and that doesn't take long. A year or two goes by very quickly, if you're on the outside. But if you're in lockup, days, creep by. So I really believe that here we're shown finally perhaps a change coming with some people that have supported changing their mind, loosening up. The hold that they've had on them will begin to loosen. And as that does, so does the, you know, the trust, this childlike, unquestioning trust they put in them will be shifting. And they're going to realize, but it's going to take time. So I take, actually, that makes me feel kind of better, because it's sad, it's aggravating, it's maddening, but overall, it's sad. And I'm just glad to see it's not all a complete loss, that there are some people that will be redeemed, that will redeem themselves, that will wake up. And just like, what and who was I? High Priestess. Yeah. Looking at the mind and at their, how they were able to be brainwashed. These people will be wanting to, I believe, reclaim their intuition, reclaim that, begin to do that. But again, don't look for it to happen too quickly. You know, the consequences with these people in power and the people that support them are going to have to be happening more. I think for this to a little more time and consequence. So that's interesting. And that is what I have. I'm going to stop there, because I think that is an interesting place. And there's a new, Ace of Cups, overflowing feeling. People that, receiving, I feel like, also healing and overflowing of emotion. So I feel like there will be people wanting to be deprogramming from this in the years to come. And I don't mean just like a long amount of years, but a little while. You know, and I that really gives me like I feel really strongly 2 to 3 years as a heightened hot needle point. Okay? That's just a gut feeling. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. And I hope that you're all doing well. I am really enjoying taking the time that I need to recharge. And it's kind of hard to recharge entirely because I have a lot of other stuff I need to do. But it's good stuff. It's stuff I enjoy, like gardening. It helps me become a better reader. So, anyhow, I will talk with you soon. And I will be doing my Thursday live. I may or may not have a guest yet. I don't know. And I believe that I will be having Linda Grindle on February 13th, which I think will be interesting. So, more about that later. I have to get the time from her and stuff. Because she's having her skin done, and we ladies know and can appreciate. I'm going to ask her where she's going to, because I need to get a little uptick myself. So anyway, if you enjoyed this content, please make sure that you have liked this video and make sure that you're subscribed and share. Thank you. See you soon.